Star Rail has been out for close to a month now, which is insane to say, I would just like to preface. And in that time, many strategies and teams and team combos have come and gone. But there's one that I've accidentally paired together that work exceptionally well together. And it only requires 2 characters, and one of them I guarantee you already have. This guy, the main MC. As long as you've got main MC Fire Lance or main MC Fire, you have one of the characters already. Unfortunately, the second character is a 5-star and does take a little bit of luck to get. But if you're one of the lucky so-and-sos that have a copy of Bailu, you have one of the sort of strongest defensive options currently that I'm currently using personally. Now, I can't speak for any other character, but for some incredible reason, you pair these two together and they just work exceptionally well as a tank healer duo. And I will demonstrate why very shortly. But as it stands, let's just sort of quickly talk about how they are built and sort of just gently preface that they are not built correctly or 100%. Still very early days. I'm currently working on like making everyone's traces up. I'm not so fussed about their relics because relics will come and go. Traces are forever. So first off with Fire MC. Fire MC, exceptional tank. He is my favorite tank that I currently have in the game. He's the only tank I currently have at all that has any use, and he is a staple in pretty much all of my teams because his skill is absolutely incredible. His ult is whatever. His basic attack is also whatever, but his skill is great. A taunt that creates a shield, absolutely phenomenal. He's a great character if you need a tank. As Light Cone, Landau's choice, for the simple reason of it just increases threat, so he's more likely to be attacked, which is exactly what you want with your tank, and takes reduced damage, which is fantastic. Landau's choice, of all of my Light Cones that I've got, is my favorite. When it comes to his traces, honestly, his best option is his skill. Obviously, if you want to, do basic attack, his talent, whatever else you can, his skill is the most important part because, it's the one that allows him to be the best possible tank he can be. But, if you want to do everything else, that's also fine. Take no notice of the fact that none of them are yellow except this one. This is not final for anything. It's just I've not relic farmed for anything, so he kind of just gets what he's given. As it stands, I'm pretty much just maxing out his defense so he takes as little damage as possible. I like him with the Purity Palace set just because, the 4-piece is just less damage taken via shield, the better. It's fantastic. Fleet of the Ageless, honestly, I think is probably his best option. More max HP is lovely. Again, so early game that I'm not too fussed about relics. You can completely discount everything I've said about relics if you so desire. It's not that necessary. Honestly, none of his Eidolons are particularly necessary for his build to work, but thankfully with him being, the main character, you get Eidolons for free pretty much all the time. Fortunately, don't have access to this one, which would be very useful, but his Eidolons are the main reason that you'll be scaling off defense because, you can give your allies shields, which would be lovely the higher your defense is. But yeah, technically he doesn't need to be Eidolon E6 or anything to do what he needs to do. Eidolon 0 is also fine, but the game gives you free Eidolons for the main character anyway, so it's not a massive deal. Moving on to the more difficult part of the team to acquire, we have Bailu. Now, as we all know, Bailu is probably the best healer in the game. I know some people say Natasha is. I have yet to try Natasha for myself. I really like Bailu and everything she does. In terms of her build, she's got the post-op conversation on, basically increases outgoing healing. Honestly, I don't really have any other light cones that would be best for this situation, so post-op conversation is my my preferred option at the minute. With her, you can ignore basic attack for the most part because she just does no damage whatsoever. Focus on everything but basic attack. Basic attack is a non-issue for Bailu, she just deals 0 damage. But her skill is great, her ult is fantastic, and her talent is also wonderful. Because it also plays into the team, but we will discuss that when we go into the actual gameplay. Again, relics, non-issue, don't really exist at the minute. Basically increasing max HP because she scales off of max HP in terms of healing, increase outgoing healing, and at the start of battle immediately regenerate 1 skill point. That's nice. I don't know if I'd keep the 4-piece For now, I'm sticking with the 4-piece. Just, I don't have any other relics to pick and choose from, so this will have to do. But, you know, increase healing with a healer, generally what you want to be doing. For Eidolons, she's E0, you do not need her for anything. So that is Bailu in a nutshell. For this combination, you literally just need these two. You can have whoever else you want in the team, because they are, neither of these characters will be affected whatsoever by their other two teammates. Bailu will affect her entire team, including MC, which is the important part. And then MC will also affect the entire team, but all by himself. So these two never clash with any other characters except maybe another healer. But, you know, if you want to run double healer, that's completely up to you. How you want to build the rest of the team is your prerogative. But now, let's get into the reason on why this works so exceptionally well. So here we are in a memory stage. It's just the level 7 one, just, you know, on their own, not an ideal team. You obviously need 2 other units to actually be doing much against enemies. But in terms of survivability, they'll keep each other, let's say, well looked after. So what we're going to do to start is we're going to activate defense to get the shield. And then Bailu, we're also going to activate to get invigoration. Now, the reason this team works so exceedingly well, because Bailu's invigoration is so very strong. So the way invigoration works is that whenever you take a hit, you heal for a percentage of, I believe it's Bailu's max HP. Now the reason this is so good is because Bailu can invigorate main MC and the whole team. But when you've got a main character tanking all your damage, if that shield ever breaks, they're going to be taking damage to the face. Now, they're going to be taking a lot less damage or no damage whatsoever if you're out healing all of the damage they can perform. We have 1 invigoration left. We still have 1 more hit to sustain to heal. What we'll do, activate shield, heals. Obviously the shield is blocking a lot of the damage, which, you know, not much that can be done about it. But what we do is we get her ult activated. Now, unfortunately, invigoration only can be activated by her ult. Later skills, later traces might change it with her skill. I don't 100% know, I've not looked into it myself. But as it stands, invigoration you only get from technique and ultimate. Now that we've got 2, what we're going to do is going to activate this. Then we're also going to ult so that he gets annoyed and decides to hit me in the face. And just like that, we heal for a lovely chunk of damage. Obviously, it's kind of hard to demonstrate how well it works with the shield. We'll get her ult back up, and then we won't shield, and then we'll just let them punch him in the face. Time to ult. Invigoration is back up. Also, when Bailu heals, she increases max HP, which is just phenomenal. Usually that's with her skill, but it's just, you know, just Bailu is fantastic. But I'm sure you know that by now. And just like that. See? 0 damage. So as long as your Bailu is stacked enough to have enough max HP and your main MC has enough damage mitigation, you are not taking any actual damage. Now, pair that with 2 other characters doing their own thing, possibly contributing to more energy recharge. Now, we know in this game there is no ultimate cooldown. If you've got an energy recharge battery that is just constantly filling up Bailu's ult, everyone in your team is going to be invigorated all the time. Here we are again. Ult. Buff get activated. Max HP is increased. No damage taken. No damage taken. No damage taken. It is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I don't know how useful it will be in the end game, but as it stands right now, where I'm kind of in the middle of mid to end game, if you can even call it that, just an absolutely incredible duo. They are so very strong together. So yeah, if you've got yourself a Fire MC and you've got yourself a Bailu, or you've just got yourself a Bailu and you're still waiting for Fire MC to show up, you're in for a really good time. The two just pair so exceptionally well. They just cover each other's what little flaws they currently have even better, because he can take off the aggro of the entire team, shield a bunch of damage, eventually that shield is going to be broken, and then he's going to be taking hits to the face, and at that point, he's going to be healing anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. It's just a constant Ouroboros of shielding, healing, shielding, healing. Obviously, it's not great in terms of if you need to finish something quickly, like in the Mirror Realm, it's kind of a problem. But if you've got a squishy unit that is just constantly taking too much heat and is just being murdered, having a tank that can't die and a healer that won't let them die is very useful. And the added benefit with Bailu is that if someone does die, she has a passive that revives them once per battle, which is just, you know, a lovely little safety net to enjoy. But yeah, the pairing is phenomenal. If I'm ever against something difficult that is just killing people a bit too quickly, I shove these two into the team. Problem is typically solved at that point. In terms of doing anything quickly, not so great, but if you are sat there for the long haul and you need something done, these two pair exceedingly well, and I hope that someone else gets to try them out, because it is really fun healing that much damage all the time. But alas, my time is done here. Thank you for those that stuck around to the end. I've been James, the Mayor of Jamestown. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. And until next time, goodbye.